Ian from RTO here. Welcome to a classic album review. Now this one is one of those classics that you know the name, but you don't realise sometimes what he wrote. And we're talking about Russ Ballard. Now Russ Ballard, of course, came to prominence when he was the guitarist and one of the major songwriters in the band Argent. He wrote songs such as God Gave Rock and Roll to You. He also wrote New York Groove, You Can Do Magic, I Surrender, and I Know There's Something Going On, Can't Shake to Lose, So You Win Again. All big hits for other people. But he also made some of his own albums, and he had several minor hits. Although it didn't chart, the album we're going to look at today, Winning, is considered one of his best albums. And it contains two songs that two other bands went and had a big hits with. But one of them being it broke a British band in America. So the album we're talking about is Winning. It was released in 1976. And Russ Ballard does most of the singing, playing, writing on the album, and except piano on one track. So the first track is a track called Winning. Now, everybody knows this track because it was a huge hit for Santana, but it was actually written by Russ Ballard, and very similar to Santana's version, so Santana didn't change it that much. It's a really good song, and I like both versions of it. It's a really, really good song. Okay, the second track on here is called Born on Halloween. Now this is a great song. It's got some great guitar work on this. It's a very strong song. When you listen to it, you go, yeah, you can tell who wrote this. The lyrics are so good. Very quirky song. It's a shame it never really caught on. A song for Gail. What have we got her into? One thing that Russell Ballard was writing is ballads. I like the arrangement on this. It's a very 70s style ballad. You could imagine bands like Chicago singing this, and Foreigner, REO Speedwagon. It's that sort of song. Very good guitar solo in this as well. Fakin Love. Yeah, it's a little bit disco-y, funky. It's definitely not one of my favourite tracks on this album. But the next one is my favourite. Now, it's a little tune called Since You've Been Gone. Yes, we all know the real raunchy rock version done by Rainbow and sung by Graham Bonnet. But this is the man who wrote it, and this is the album it was on. Not quite as heavy as the Rainbow version, of course, but it's quirky. To be quite honest, this is not one of my favourite Rainbow songs. I think they went too commercial for me, personally. But it was a big hit for Rainbow because it got them recognised in America. But I do like this version. I think it's a much nicer song without the heavy guitars, and that didn't need it. The words are great. Russ Ballard wrote some fine songs, and this is probably one of his best. Then we have a track called Just Dream Away. A great ballad from Russ here. Sounds nice, and nice arrangement. The guitar works good. He was really good at writing these sort of songs. It's a great song. Here I Am, lots of strings, a proper ballad, fine track, fine track. Free at Last, very quirky, just like the tones on this, little foot tappy little number. Are You a Cuckoo? Now another track that got covered by the Bay City Rollers. Very good. And then the last track on here is Try Try Try. No, The Weekend. Sorry, it's a mid rock. It's one of the best rockers on here. It's got that 70s rock track. Some great keyboard and guitar in this. Absolute killer track to end the album. Now, believe it or not, there's not much written about this. But I found one or two bits. Now, someone wrote about the song Winning. I was covered by Santana got in 1981 and give him a number 17 hit on the Billboard Hot 100. Since You Be Gone was a big top 10 hit for Rainbow here in the UK, and it was named as 82nd best hard rock of all time on VH1. I did found one review, and it's Classic Rock Revisited, and I don't know who wrote this, but they said Winning saw Ballard write the title track, which would become later Santana's biggest hit. The song sounds a little bit different, but it's stiffly cool. Of course, one of Ballard's most successful tunes is Since You Be Gone, a hit for Rainbow and also a minor hit for Head East. Perhaps his best tune to date. Now this is I'd say it's a typical mid-70s rock pop album by Russ Ballard. It's got some fantastic songs on here that just didn't get the praise they did. And obviously after he wrote Since You Be Gone, he went on to write I Surrender for Rainbow. It's just... But when you go through lists of Forgotten Classics album, this is always in there. I don't know if it's still available. I mean, it is on Spotify, but it's just a great mid-70s rocky pop album, and I quite enjoy this. I've listened to some of the others as well, and I think this is probably the best, and I think the best song he ever wrote was Since You've Been Gone. It's just a little gem, this album. So I'm going to give it an RTO ranking of 7 out of 10. So there we go. That is an obscure one. But, you know, Russ Ballard wrote some great songs all through his career. Okay, well, that's all for today. Okay, all being well, I'll be back tomorrow. As I said in that little impromptu live stream I did, it all depends on how my bones feel. So if you look out for 8 o'clock in the morning on the community, if you see what's on today, you know that we are going to be recording on that day. And tomorrow we have got The Creatures, which of course is Susie, Sue and Budgie from Susie and the Banshees. And tomorrow's retro ranking is a band from the UK that was part of the rock and roll revival in the late to mid 70s, and it's the Great Darts. So that's all coming tomorrow. Have a great day, keep warm, and I will hopefully see you all tomorrow. Bye for now.